Hello, everybody. Are you guys ready to hang out with me tonight? I'm going to give you all a couple of seconds to click on and join me for this wonderful live. I'm super excited. As usual, you guys already know that I'm always so happy to spend time with you. First, let me say good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to some of my people over the pond. I know y'all are awake. Y'all need to be asleep, but you're awake on here chatting with me, and I appreciate you. Welcome. Come on in the room. Let me know where you're coming in from. Say hello, introduce yourself, all that good stuff. So, I just want to say thank you guys so much who tuned in yesterday. I had so much fun talking to Tanya. It was a really great interview learning about her shirt, her top that she made that you can find on the Furls website. It's a free pattern, so please go and look at the Meridian top. I asked you guys who wouldn't wanted to enter my $25 giveaway. You know, I always do a giveaway. I gave away a $25 gift card, and our lucky winner has been notified. So congratulations to our winner. I hope you buy something fun with your $25 Furls gift card. I had to look at my notes today, guys, because I wrote some things down. So I wanted to make sure that I shared them with you. Hey, from Texas and Virginia. And where else I see? I see Denver. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate you. You don't have to take time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me. So I'm grateful. So yes, the Meridian top. Tanya was a marvelous guest. Thank you, Tanya, for joining me. $25 gift card. Congratulations. The answer was an I-cord. So she used an I-cord to decorate the beautiful Meridian top. Again, go check out that pattern. It is available for free, and it has an easy download in a beautiful PDF. So please go and check that out. Hey, Missouri and North Carolina. Who else I got? More friends from Texas. I'm so excited you guys are here hanging out with me. What I have in store for you tonight is going to be so much fun. I'm really excited to have another guest for my Makers Stories series. Now, those of you who have come and hung out with me on Wednesday nights, you know that I have a different maker come and chill out with me, tell you all about who they are, what they're doing in their respective craft. And for the month of June, we are celebrating Pride Month. Did you get your Pride hook? No drama. Just asking if you got your Pride hook. So this month we are celebrating our friends in the LGBTQIA plus community. And with that in mind, we wanted to select some folks that we saw really doing amazing things on Instagram. And this particular young man, so happy to have him here. His Instagram handle all by itself says a whole lot. But Skylar Ellers is here with me. He's also known as Lord Von Schmidt. We're going to find out all about him. We're going to learn where he got that fabulous name from and everything that he's doing with his amazing skill. I'm really excited. So put some clapping hands. Put some clapping hands so he could feel the love in the comment section, everybody. And let's welcome Skylar. There he is.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Hello. I did a little bit of talking in the beginning, but after that, it's your show. So welcome to our Furls Live. We're really excited to have you here.
Thanks.
And just want to learn all about you. So you can tell us from soup to nuts, as they like to say, who you are, how you started crocheting, why you crochet, and then I'll ask you some more questions. So the floor is yours.
Sounds good. I got into crochet and knitting when I lived in Barcelona. After I graduated from college, I became an English teacher in Spain, and I had quite a lot of free time in my teaching schedule, and that's when I picked up knitting and crochet with yarn that I was able to buy very inexpensively at the flea market.
At the
So
flea market.
flea market, because at the flea market you could get, you know, a color of this and a color of that, and so I would start blending the colors together, and building up the texture with 5 or 6 strands of flea market yarn.
Mm.
And then from there I would sort of go about gathering other materials, sticks, snail shells, grasses, and that was my statement at that time. Um, so since then, after I lived in Barcelona, I moved back to the United States, and I discovered that there were already pre-made crochet items that existed called afghan blankets. So I started playing with afghan blankets and cutting them apart and sewing them back together. And that is
Wow.
the basis of my crochet fashion line.
Amazing.
And that is the line that became Lord von Schmidt. And yes.
So how did you come up with that name?
So that name came from college, and it was from a sign-up sheet.
Mm.
I signed my name, Skylar Ellers, and then, as a bunch of drunk, roommates came on and signed, by the end it said Lord Skylar von Schmidt and his animal friends.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really fun. So anyways, I just started using that little name, and then, I think that one of the hardest things that anyone will ever have to do in their entire life is come up with a name for their business.
Mm-hmm.
The weird name for your weird business will stump you for hours and days. You can go around and around in circles. What is the name of my business? Finally, I just decided to use a name that I was already using. Mm-hmm. And that was Lord von Schmidt.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I agree.
It captures the essence of what I do, which is not entirely always crochet, or knit, or it could be many things, but those are probably the backbone of my fashion line.
I love it. I love it. So when you started the fashion line, like, what made you say, okay, I'm going to take an Afghan that I find and I'm going to completely reconstruct it? Like,
so because when I was sourcing my yarn at the flea market, mm-hmm. I was getting one skein of each color or texture, or maybe 2, or maybe I could get 5 at the most. But if I wanted to make a pair of pants, then I needed a lot of the same yarn.
Yes.
And yarn stores in Barcelona were very expensive. Mm. So I never really got to quite realize my vision for the pants that I wanted to make out of the yarn that I was able to find myself. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that was so when I came across the Afghan blankets, they were already done. They were already weighted. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You already knew the stretch that each piece had. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but
you have.
When you make a crochet pattern, mm-hmm. or a knit pattern from scratch, you're not entirely sure what the weight ultimately is going to be and how much stretch down it's going to have on your body, which is why it's very challenging to knit a pair of pants. Mm-hmm. You even if you got everything right, you may not know exactly where it's going to fall in the end. Right. Anyway, there are so many advantages for me to using a pre-made crocheted item as opposed to crocheting it from start myself, which is beautiful. And I admire people who do it. And that is a different direction than I have chosen to take with crochet.
I love it. Do you ever crochet anything from scratch, or are you always repurposing?
I do. And I have a collection of those things, but I do not sell those things.
Okay.
because those items are a little bit harder to part with in terms of the time invested versus the money that one can get out of them.
I totally understand. I think that everyone who's watching us, I know we have a lot of designers watching us, and I've
You
heard this thing. So yeah, I get that.
know,
Get
hand
that.
crochet is it's almost an act of devotion. It's we so often we associate it with um, you know old grandmothers, perhaps is the best way to put it.
Yes.
People who have love, devotion, and lots of free time.
Hmm.
And you know, anytime you are designing a crocheted item for sale,
Hmm.
the amount of time that goes into it is a large factor of what you can sell. Which is
Absolutely.
why, a lot of people who are doing hand crochet are not going to want to make a full length robe. That's a lot of time for money.
Hmm.
Whereas, like, a small piece or a crocheted toy is
Hmm.
something that can be completed in a sitting or, you know, a much more reasonable time frame, and then you can sell it for, something to compensate your time,
Right.
and that's great.
I agree. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about pricing. I know that a lot of people who again are watching us have issues trying to figure out how to charge for the products that they make. And I think that you have a great learning that you can share with us about pricing.
I do, and I'm not certain that I have figured it out entirely myself either.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
something maybe that will challenge everyone who's involved in this for much of their careers. But anyways, I would say, um, you know, yarn is not an inexpensive commodity. You will invest a lot of money in yarn if you are buying it, you know, um, retail or, you know, if you can do better buying it in bulk.
Right.
But also keep in mind, if you want your pieces to have a lot of colors, you have to buy all of those different colors of yarn. That's
Right.
quite a lot.
Right.
So for people who out there who are looking to sell their hand crochet, your biggest investments are going to be yarn, and then it's going to be time.
Um,
Your energy that goes into it is just your energy that goes into it. It's just your time.
yes.
But the materials are not cheap, is what I'm saying. So, you know, collectively, we need to work towards raising the value of what we're doing because it is a lot of work,
It
and
is.
it really is.
It
Uh,
is. Do
so,
you have, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you have any recommendations on how people can think about pricing their products. Like, how did you go about pricing your pants that you sell on Etsy?
So the way that I price my pants, Afghan blankets are also now becoming more popular than they were when I started this project. I don't know why. But anyways, they are also potentially not cheap. So I like to sell things as low as I possibly can and
Mhm.
feel that I am able to make money with what I do and compensate my time, which it's what is the value of our time? I mean, that's an
Right,
interesting question, and everybody has to come up with that answer themselves.
for themselves.
And
Agree.
some people are like, "Oh, my time is extremely valuable," and some people support that. So you can decide that your time is worth whatever you want it to be, and then your challenge is then to network the
Mhm,
support for
mhm,
that.
mhm. I
And
love
then
that.
what we're getting into is the networking of the whole thing.
How do you network? What are the avenues you use?
I have a very challenged
Mm.
network myself. I live in a remote area, which I don't know if you can see behind me, but it's all just trees. There is no
Yes.
cell reception. There is no internet. It's like,
Oh.
well, it's there. They don't really want to provide it.
Oh boy, that's not fun. Well, I'm
I know.
glad you were able
Yeah,
to get a connection
don't get me
tonight.
started on that. Anyways, it's from where I am, I had the luck of creating an Etsy listing that went viral in 2015 and spread from a post on a blog called The Bored Panda,
Mhm.
which you may be aware of. I don't know. I don't know if The Bored Panda is still big. It was big at the time.
I'm still, I hear about it.
I haven't seen much from them lately. Anyways,
Right.
I got to feature on The Bored Panda, and from there, I it got picked up by all sorts of different networks, TV networks,
Mhm.
international blogs. There were blogs about it in Russian, in
Wow.
Arabic, in Chinese. It reached from that one post on The Bored Panda. It reached the whole planet, and that is when all of a sudden, my crocheted shorts that I was selling for $40 on my website, I had like 300 orders of them.
Mhm.
So
What did you do?
I put it all together. And eventually everybody got their shorts. Practically nobody complained. Somehow it worked out. I was actually in India at the time. I was traveling in India, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody told me, "Hey, you better get ready. Your crocheted shorts are blowing up online." It
It
was an
just
overnight
happened.
thing, and I didn't know what to do. So
Amazing.
so it was amazing, and I a lot of what I've been able to do since then does come back from that.
That's really, really inspiring. It's a letting us know always be prepared because you never know what might happen.
That's
That's really,
exactly it. Always be
yeah,
prepared.
yeah.
And don't think that what you're doing isn't going to be successful just because it's weird or unusual or because the people around you know you too well or whatever it is. You
Mm.
know, be ready for it to be big and think in that way. And if I wish that I had that mentality in 2015, but it took me some time to get it, and I feel like now I have it much more than I did.
Someone just called this a unicorn fart. I love that.
I love that
It's like,
too.
right? That's
You
really cool.
know,
Thanks, Freddie, for that.
thanks, Freddie. You clearly see through to the other side.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So what kinds of things are inspiring you now? Like what kind of things are inspiring you?
Right now I'm very inspired by what by outfits that are composed of different elements. That doesn't sound very good.
What
Outfits.
kind of elements?
Yeah, right. So let me show you. Okay.
Okay. He's
So,
going to get us some stuff to show us, folks. Let's
um,
hold tight.
so this would be, an example of. Here, stand up. Okay. So these are some little undies.
Okay.
And
And
I would
that's
say
crochet.
that is crochet.
Wow.
And that that concept led into this concept, which is a whole. Wait, hold on. I gotta get back a little bit. Make
Okay.
sure. This is a whole sort of superhero
Wow.
outfit.
Now, did you crochet that from scratch or did you use
No,
Afghan?
no. I used an afghan.
Get out of
Because,
town.
yes, because the thing is, when you've crocheted something yourself, that's a precious thing.
Mhm,
You have invested your soul and energy and your life blood into that thing.
mhm.
When you buy an Afghan blanket at the thrift store, you paid $5 for it, and you know, go to town. I mean, who cares? It's somebody else's crazy time investment. That's why
That's
that's what I
incredible.
love about Afghan blankets is because they're plentiful, they're everywhere.
Right,
Nobody else is doing anything with them,
right.
and the colors, the patterns are all, you know, well, they all make fresh clothing. You
So
know.
how many pieces have you been able to get out of one Afghan, if you could think, you know?
Oh well, I mean, so for example, like this um, this piece that's sort of a superhero, and this underwear all came from the same Afghan,
Okay.
along with another one of these, a pair of chaps, and you know sometimes I even get a pair of pants out of it too. So I
What?
can get a lot of things out of one Afghan. Say I turn one Afghan entirely into jock straps. Uses very little crochet material. I could maybe make 20 or 30. I could make
That's so
a
awesome.
lot out of one. But then, of course, once you've made the piece, you also then have to photograph and upload it online so that people can see it. So the time that goes into all of these things is a lot, which is why I don't usually like to do a lot of little things.
Hmm, hmm.
I would rather make a bigger piece that is a bigger statement that somebody can then, pay a little bit more for.
So someone wants to know if you'd be posting the pattern for the jock strap.
Well, so I would love to post the pattern for the jock strap, and I again, the thing that you know because I've been able to network um, my production in some different places around the world. India is a big producer of my work for me.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Um, I would love to go work backwards from the Afghan design that I
Hmm,
created,
hmm.
and then give people the crochet pattern for that so that
Hmm.
they can make it themselves.
Wow.
I would have to work backwards from this.
Yeah,
So I'd start with this,
yeah.
and then I would go through and count the stitches and develop it into a pattern.
Got
Anyway,
it.
that's all I can do for those people. And they message me a lot, and I keep saying,
Do
"Gosh,
that.
I'm gonna get to this one day," and I have yet to do it.
How do you keep blankets from falling apart when you cut them up? Someone
Well,
wants to.
that is the magic of Lord von Schmidt, and
Oh,
I mean that falls into the category of trade secrets that I
I
cannot reveal the
see.
answer.
Yeah.
If, if somebody dares to cut into a blanket themselves, they'll learn the same
Things
lessons
you learn.
that I learned probably.
Yeah.
But
What do you?
probably they won't.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Like I wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Exactly,
I
you wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Who would? And that's why I can do it, is because who would?
Right. And I think
You know?
that's the genius behind you, like your ability to say, I'm gonna try it. That's really cool. How did
Yeah,
you get that assurance to say, you know what? What's the worst that could happen?
exactly.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Experience. You
Mhm.
know, I think a lot before I make something. And then when
Mm.
I make it, I make it quite quickly. But I
Really?
but I think, and then I put it away. And then I look
Okay.
at it and I think, and then I put it away. And then, that that time frame might be like 6 months, you know.
Mm.
So, and then all of a sudden
Incredible.
I'll make it, and I usually make everything within a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your parasols, you make that within a day?
Yes. But the thing is, the parasols are actually made by my manufacturers in India.
Okay.
So what
Gotcha.
that was an Afghan blanket that I adapted to a parasol,
Hmm.
and it started just like, sort of like, she's asking me about the pattern for the jock strap.
Hmm.
It started that way,
Hmm. Hmm.
with an Afghan blanket that became the parasol, and then I worked backwards from that to create the item.
I got it. I got it. Now,
Yeah.
the outfit that you have on today, is that something that you made as well?
Yes, it is. This is I would love to model it. I don't know. This is
Model it, love. Model it. Let
not
us see.
quite getting the full thing of it, but
I love it.
it's sort of
That's from an Afghan?
that's from an Afghan blanket. And
Oh
you
my
can
gosh.
you can see, yeah, and some of the details kind of ended up in there somehow. I
Mhm,
can't quite
mhm,
remember what
mhm.
this was, but I
Amazing.
like to use
Amazing.
I like to use the elements of the blankets that are already there.
Hmm.
So if a blanket has fringe at the
Hmm.
bottom, I like to
Hmm.
incorporate that fringe into it.
That's awesome. Somebody said they want one.
Thanks. I mean, I want to, so the thing is, whereas a lot of people are looking at all of this from the perspective of handmade and craft, I am looking at this from the perspective of, creating a fashion line where people can buy these things,
Right. So
you know?
speaking of which, you mentioned your manufacturers in India. How
Yeah.
are they making these? I'm not sure if it's
Well,
trade
so
secret, but
no, their work is limited to the parasols.
mhm,
So that is the only item that I'm having made overseas right now.
mhm,
And, um, that's really, it's a just, you know, it's that Afghan, and then,
mhm.
and then, the parasol hardware, which is really hard
Got
to,
it. Gotcha. Gotcha.
but so
Okay.
okay, to create something like this,
Mhm,
there you would have to go through a boutique production house, or like a massive production house where
mm.
they're gonna happily make you 1,000 of these.
Right.
Now, if I had
Right.
1,000 people that were ready to buy one, I would do it, because
Worth
uh,
it.
it's worth it.
I mean, you never know. I recently saw Tiffany Haddish on the cover. I think it was a Fifth Avenue something. I can't remember magazine, and she was wearing this beautiful crochet dress, and it just made me wonder. How are they making this? How are they manufacturing this? Is it done by machine, or you got little people there crocheting with their little hands? Like,
Oh, as of yet, there is no crochet
I
machine.
didn't think so. So these are people.
These are certainly people, for sure.
Yes.
For,
Okay.
for sure. The kind of hand crochet that is in Afghan blankets can only be created by,
Handmade. Yeah.
Unless someone were to design a robot
Right.
that could do those things, and if a robot that could crochet would be pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But no, it would take
but
us
that
out
would
of
be
business.
well, that would be really, really, really expensive to make.
That too.
You
For
know?
sure. For sure.
Whereas,
That
if you tried to get a robot to go to the thrift store and sort through the Afghan blankets and figure out which ones were cool, I would be very curious to see what the robot came up with.
will come back with. I hear
You
you.
know?
I hear you. So when you were in Spain, that's where you went to the thrift store. Are you back in the States or are you
Yeah.
still overseas? Oh, you're back
No,
in the so
I'm in California.
okay. So do you thrift shop in California
Yeah.
now? Like
Yes.
what's your favorite spot? Like where do you love to go? You know you're gonna find the goods.
Oh gosh. Well, so there's a hospice that's local. And they always the thing is that now, because the people in the local thrift stores know that I collect these, so they kind of set them aside for me.
That's nice.
And when I
That's
come in,
nice.
they're like, "Oh, we've got one for you. Do you want it?" Which
That's
is really
nice.
it's really sweet.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to make relationships.
Mm,
That's really cool. That's really cool.
it-
So, is this your only business, or do you have an
yeah,
outside job, or this is it?
no, this is my only business. This has been my only business since 2015.
That's pretty awesome. That's
It
pretty
really
awesome.
is.
That's
Thanks.
pretty awesome. Like, congratulations. I know that there are so many of us here who love to crochet and would love to say it's our full-time job, So
Mhm.
that's really awesome. So
Well,
we got some folks in the, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, for those people,
Mhm.
find that item that has the sweet spot so that you can make those sales and you can make that money and people are getting the value that they want. It's totally doable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're
And
proof that it is.
yeah, I'm this.
Yeah, you're proof that it is. Um, I just wanted to say to hi to our folks who are watching us, and if you have any questions, please do submit them in the comment section. I wanted to
Please
talk
do.
a
I
little
am
bit.
ready to field any
Yeah,
questions that you
answer.
may
You Yes. If you have any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to know more about this business and how he's doing it. So the things that you do crochet that you
have.
don't want to part with, what are those things that you're like, I just want to make this? What's something that you're like, I just want to make this?
A bathroom set.
Ooh,
Yes.
oh.
I
So
don't.
like
I haven't
the
done it
rug,
yet. I actually haven't done it yet, but that's one that I really want to do.
a bathroom set. Now, what yarn do you think you would use for that?
Gosh, I don't know, but it would have to be something very durable
Yes, and washable.
and washable.
Washable.
And you look at like some Sunset magazine from 1973, and they have this like over the top toilet that's all
Yes.
dainties and stuff. You know, that that is kind of where I would like to see this stuff going, and then somebody who wanted to create that now, I would love for them to be able to purchase a kit from me with the instructions and the yarn, and just in much the same way that the Afghan blankets that I use were created by kits.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to create kits for people to make some of the things that I have to
I
offer.
love that. That's a
Obviously,
brilliant idea.
thank you. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be this. There's no kit for the crocheted underwear yet, unless I get some real demand here very soon. I don't think I'm going to invest time in that, but I would love to. I would love to go in that direction.
A bathroom set. Somebody wants to know for the bathroom set, what color?
Well, gosh, I think custard.
Custard. Okay.
Custard. custard. I would consider mauve as
Okay,
well.
okay. I think that's a good bathroom color. Somebody wants to know how how do you go about seaming the items you make?
Well, and again, that's sort of part of what I do. I can't really tell you. I do use a sewing machine,
Okay.
and I mean, to be honest, because okay, we've all darned together a bunch of things.
Mhm,
And we all know that darning seams like this can really be bulky.
mhm,
And
mhm.
and then you got to hide your excess yarn in there. So you can end up with these big bulky seams in hand crochet.
Yeah.
Uh, Even if I were to crochet this item myself,
Mhm.
I would still want to use a sewing machine on the seams because my seams are very comfortable and loose.
Got
Uh,
it.
they may not look the best on the
On
inside,
the inside. Mhm,
but, but instead of that bulking that happens in so many seams, it's
mhm.
just it there's just so much stretch in it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
somebody who is much larger than I am can also wear this same piece.
Really?
Yeah,
Because it
the
has a
stretch
stretch.
the stretch of
Yeah,
it.
I
Just
see it. I see it. Wow. I love it. I love it. That's really cool. Okay. Somebody wants to know, at what point did you look at your designs and know this is finally good enough to sell? That's a good question.
That's a very good question, and I actually honestly don't know. I I had a lot of trouble selling originally. So let me preface this by saying my Etsy shop, the original name of my Etsy shop was Bollywood Lizard.
Oh,
And yeah, and I sold vintage Bollywood eyewear from India that I found in glasses shops.
wow. Okay.
Because I was finding like, I don't know, vintage Ray-Bans that had never been worn before, and they were whatever optical shop in India had invested in them maybe 10 years before and never sold them. So
Mm,
I was going and I was getting all these really cool optical things, and I was selling them on my Etsy shop, and they did quite well,
mhm.
because they were brand names that I had picked up in India.
Right.
So that was how I started, and then I had a few pairs of my pants that I had made, and I just put them up. I mean, I wasn't even really thinking that. I was
Wow.
I was like, well, let's just try it. And a pair, the first pair that I ever sold right away, and they loved it. They came back years later and and ordered something else.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. So
Wow.
from the beginning, my products sold on Etsy,
Mhm.
and that was that because of that, I was able to keep doing it. If that hadn't happened, I would have probably done something else.
Mm,
It was like I tried so many different kinds of fashion
mhm.
before I arrived at this. And then
What
this
what what were the things before this?
well, some of my pants were made out of like stolen airline blankets.
Oh,
That was
okay.
sometimes you end up with the blanket after the flight, and there's there's your pants. I used towels. I used bathrobes. I used bed sheets. I used curtains.
So you've always like been a big
I've always been
recycler.
a
I love
big
this.
weird upcycler of weird things, and
Yes.
I always want to incorporate those things.
Hmm. I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, thank you. So, anyways, to get back to it, it's that I think that when the person asked me that question, it's actually the chicken, not the egg. It's
Hmm.
it started that it started that it sold.
Mm,
That's why it was good enough to sell. I was just doing whatever. And Etsy is a great place to do whatever
it
because
is.
there's no penalties for your items not selling.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
hmm.
one of my favorite blogs that I ever saw in my life and was featured on was called Regretsy.
Oh,
Were you familiar with Regretsy?
no.
It was just a hilarious blog that that found these unusual items for sale on Etsy and then
Okay.
wrote little spoofs about, the whole thing. And mine was really funny. She was talking about how, in the 1970s every drug dealer had an Afghan on his couch. And if you just shook the pants off, you'd probably get, a quarter of an eighth or something.
Stop it.
I know she was really funny. I don't know what happened to her, but that was really. Anyways, uh, Etsy does, you know, give you options to be totally weird and experimental.
Hmm, hmm.
Uh, online has opened up all of this. Online shopping has opened all of this up.
Yeah.
Where things that you would be challenged to find in a store,
Hmm, hmm.
that you would never find in a store, you can find online.
Find
And
online.
I see people making some really far out crocheted things online and selling them.
I love it. So let's talk about the 70s a little bit. Why the fascination with the 70s? Because it seems like
No,
you definitely.
the 70s are sort of the basis of it. But for example, what I'm wearing now is not the 70s. This was not crocheted in the 70s. It's
No.
probably this piece was probably done, I don't know, 10 years ago, 5 years
Yeah.
ago. It's
Yeah.
new, soft, it's
Yeah.
you know. The 70s is a lot of earth tones, a lot of browns, which I am not that
Okay.
keen on these days. I mean, I know, and some people love it, and that's
Yeah.
great, and we'll
Yeah.
continue to make it for those people.
Right.
And if you want to go disco, great,
Right.
full on browns and yellows, oranges is great.
Uh-huh.
I lately I want to see more neons, more pastels,
Okay.
a little more 80s than 70s,
More.
maybe.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
I don't want to be stuck in any one thing
Era. I
era.
like it. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I'm so excited for you. Really excited about all the things that you're doing. Another person wants to know, where do you source your yarn? So we know that you make your things from Afghans, but where
Yeah.
else do you get yarn?
Well, I have different. I mean, thrift stores are a great source.
Mm-hmm.
eBay is a great
eBay. Okay.
eBay.
Okay.
You can find whatever weird. If you are looking for something specific, you will find it on eBay, no matter how weird it is.
So
Because
true.
sometimes people get in touch with me and they're like, do you have, hot pink and, you know, um, bright orange and black?
Oh,
And I'll be like, well, no. But then if I look on eBay, there it is. Or,
there it is.
hot pink, orange, and black Afghan. And then I can, with those images, I can find out if the person is like yay or nay,
Hmm.
and then I
Do
can build the order from there.
do you get a lot of custom orders like that?
You know, I was getting quite a lot before the pandemic
Mm,
because I think a lot of people were looking to wear my pieces at events.
hmm.
They wanted to create some kind of big, impact.
Yes.
So that was a really good phase for me.
Hmm.
Burning Man, Lightning in a Bottle. Um, a lot of these Coachella, a lot of these festivals are
Hmm.
people who want to wear some unique and flashy thing to
Yes.
festivals are a
Yes.
great market for me.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So you did mention the year that shall never be mentioned. So we'll talk about it. How was 2020 for you? How did you go through the pandemic?
I did quite well, and I stayed afloat. And, I think that because the pandemic sort of shifted towards more online sales,
Hmm.
I found that I was able to continue to make sales because people didn't want to go out shopping, you
Nope.
know.
Everything was happening online.
Everything was happening online and I was already there.
Yeah.
So, it was not that hard for me. I will say I as part of the whole experience, I discounted my items quite a bit and I took much less
Mhm.
for things because I know that many people in the pandemic were also taking much less in their lives and we were all going through it together. So I was happy to take less for a lot of things to make the sale.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely was a tough time for so many. Um, so I want to talk about our latest products. Did you
Yes.
receive your hook? This is my new favorite. It just makes me happy. It's so pretty. And
Well, it does make me very happy.
mhm,
There's something about it that inspires happiness.
I agree.
And it is really a really nice grip.
It does, right?
It really grips nicely.
How do you crochet? Are you a knife grip or a pencil or a
I do all, and then a lot of times I'm just getting in there to get threads and loose bits in or out or woven in.
yeah.
At this point, the way that I use a crochet hook is totally non-traditional.
Okay.
It's it's an object that I use every day.
Mhm.
I do not use it in the way that you're supposed to hardly at all anymore. And I would, but I don't. So it's fine. The thing is, I know that if I had been crocheting all these things from scratch, I would not have made the items that you see from me.
I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that. Listen, we encourage you to keep doing what you're doing,
Thank
please,
you.
because
Thank
it's
you.
beautiful. We love seeing you on our timelines on Instagram. You inspire us to think outside of the box. I think as crocheters, we should think outside of the box.
If I can do one thing, I would love to inspire people to think outside of the box.
Yes, we are. We are. And as usual, I always try to do something, some sort of giveaway. So tonight, I'm going to give away a hook, one hook for one
Nice.
lucky winner. And what I want you guys to put in the comment section to be selected is the thing that Skylar said he sold on his Etsy shop before he started selling for Lord Von Schmidt. You don't have to tell me what the name of the Etsy shop is. But what was the item that he was selling before he started selling all his beautiful Afghan inspired clothing? So if you were here hanging out with me and you remember, put it in the comment section and a hook might just make its way into your mailbox. Do you have any other lovely fashions that you would like to show us before we say
I
goodnight?
do. I do.
Yes, I knew you did.
I brought a few more to show you.
Okay.
This is my rainbow.
What? I love the hood. Yes, do a twirl. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love those colors.
I love the colors and I love the brightness of it.
Yes.
And, as I've gotten deeper into these things, there's a lot of little tricks that I have learned that I don't know if I could ever really get another person to understand. But anyways.
Yeah. So for that piece, is that a whole Afghan or is that?
This is a whole Afghan. And it uses practically every piece of the Afghan there is.
I love it.
I really try to minimize waste in my creations, and that's I think that crochet has the potential to be one of the least wasteful media of fashion because you can actually incorporate little bits into fringe. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
anyway. People are loving that fabulousness. I love the hood. Oh my goodness.
I love to make hoods. I love hoods and big collars, and
yes,
I love to do those.
And they look fabulous on you. I mean, like I said, the way you put the garment together, and it's just beautiful. You have an eye, and that's so cool. Like, just so cool. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out a little bit, but I'm just like, it's amazing. So talented. I really appreciate your time tonight. I really had a great time learning from you. I hope our audience did as well. It has been fun. I hope you enjoyed it, chatting with us tonight.
I love talking about what I do and what I get to do and where I'm going. And actually, the more I talk about it, the more it sort of makes sense to myself.
Yes. Well, we're looking forward to the bathroom kit that you're going to create.
Yeah, me too.
We're looking forward to it.
That's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I mean, I can totally see it happening. So
I can see it happening too.
Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Someone wants you to please come to Portland, Maine. They want to talk to you in person. They're loving you. They're loving you.
Well, so I would love for anyone to follow my Instagram if they are, I am Lord Von Schmidt on Instagram, and that's probably the best way to get in touch with me for all this stuff. Or you can check out my website, which is www.lordvonschmidt.com.
Yes.
And you can get in touch with me there. And please do, because I love to talk to people too, and I love to connect with people who are crocheting and working in fashion and working in all sorts of things. So
yes, please follow him. You will not be disappointed. Again, thank you so much for your time. I'm just gonna wrap up with my friends here, but thank you again. I really appreciate it. Mwah! Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that intimate conversation with Lord Von Schmidt. I certainly did. I had a blast. He was really gave us some good information. If you are making it, put it up on Etsy. You never know. It might sell. Don't forget in the comment section to list what it was that he was selling prior to his amazing Afghan clothes, and you might win a pride hook. Friday, we have a really special release happening. So keep looking at your emails. What else I have to tell you guys tonight? It's Pearl's birthday coming up. Woohoo! Hopefully, you all are on our mailing list and you have received your email to let you know that we are having a day party here for Furls. We'll be on the Facebook group, we'll be on the Facebook page and YouTube. Make sure that you check your email so you can schedule time to come and hang out with us. We're doing some really cool giveaways. You know, we love a giveaway. So come back. It's on Tuesday, the 22nd. We really want to see you all at the day party about 3 o'clock East Coast time. We hope that you can come and party with us. We're going to have fun. Thank you all so much for being so kind to me and always joining my lives. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you spent some time with me. Have a great evening. Bye.